Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for fall DIYs, and today I'm sharing with you 15 fall high-end Dollar Tree DIYs. If you haven't checked out Dollar Tree yet, make sure you go because the items go quick, so you want to get what you're going to be needing for this fall. Dollar Tree has these adorable houses, and I just think they're so cute in making different signs. So I grabbed this paper. It's kind of fall and winterish. I feel like it could go for a lot of different things. And I'm just going to trace around the paper on my signs. Now I am going to be doing it on the back, so I will have to cut these down just a little bit more than they were. If you wanted to pop the backs out and put them in, you could do that as well. I just kind of took the easy way and cut around it till it fit in there, and that worked for me, but whatever's the easiest for you. So you want to repeat that with all 4 of your signs and then just hot glue that paper to the back. Next, I'm using some self-adhesive vinyl and my Cricut to cut out the words home that I can use in my sign. And I'm just going to pull the letters out and then place them into my sign. For the O, I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I got some of those wood pieces and put them into the shape of an O and hot glued them in place. Now standing back, I decided it needed a little bit something extra, so I decided to paint the edges with some black paint. And in the end, I think it did help it to stand out. So make sure you kind of look at your projects and think, okay, what do I need to add here? Don't be afraid to add additional elements if your project needs it. And here's a look at this home sign. It's probably my favorite project in this video. For the first project, I picked up this Happy Harvest truck at Dollar Tree, and that's what I'm gonna be using for this DIY. I grabbed 3 scrap boards that I had on hand, and I cut them down so that they were the exact same size. Next, I'm going to use E6000 because it's a really firm bond. When you want something to hold really well, go for E6000. And I'm just going to glue the boards together. And then on the back, I'm going to add in some popsicle sticks with hot glue. This is just going to give it a little bit more stability. Next, I want my boards to be nice and distressed, so I'm going to be using just a little bit of white acrylic paint, and I'm going to lightly brush that onto the boards, making sure I don't have too much paint at all on this brush. Now for the sign, I'm going to remove the leaf that was already on there, and then using my same white acrylic paint, I'm just going to paint it white. Next, I'll hot glue the sign onto the center of my board. And then I'm going to add some additional leaves that I had on hand and put the white leaf back on, tie a bow with some cute twine, and this is just going to cover up the hanger. And for virtually nothing, you have an adorable sign for fall. I wanted to share with you guys today's sponsor, Drop. Drop is one of the easiest reward sites where you can get rewards for shopping at brands that you already shop at anyways. So every time you make a purchase, you're going to earn points. And then those points turn into rewards that you can redeem on the Drop site through gift cards for Amazon, Sephora, Starbucks, and really so much more. So Drop is free to use. All you have to do is go there before you start shopping. So you go to the shop page and tap shop now, and then it's going to take you to that site and you complete the checkout process. And then Drop will automatically add the points into your account. It's so simple. So you guys know that I'm obsessed with my dog Moose. So one of the things that I recently purchased through the Drop app was a subscription to a company called BarkBox. And it's basically a monthly subscription that I'm gonna get, and it's gonna have treats and toys and all these fun little things for Moose. By making that purchase, purchase, I was able to earn 13,000 points that are going to go into my rewards. I had to tell you about the Drop app now because their birthday week is coming up between August 24th and August 30th, and that is when their points get exponentially greater. So if you complete an offer during Drop's birthday week, they're gonna enter you into a drawing for a chance to win prizes up to a value of $500. I don't want you to miss out on any of Drop's birthday week deals, so make sure that you go look down in the description box. You're gonna see my link and offer code so that you can go sign up for Drop. Your bonus will be deposited once you earn up to 1,000 points on the app. And this offer is only good for 1 week, so make sure you go down in the description box and sign up. Next, I'm going to show you an easy way to put together a wreath. So you're going to need a wreath form and some burlap. These are both thrifted items, but you can get wreaths at Dollar Tree and burlap. I'm going to be using some Dollar Tree pumpkins and stems at the base here to show you how easy it is to use Dollar Tree materials to create the wreath. So before I glue anything down, I like to take my stems and kind of move it around and place them in place. Figure out where I'm going to be putting my larger pumpkins, where I want the rest of my stems to go. The thing you want to do with a wreath is just layer different materials. It's going to make it look fuller and it's going to make it look a lot more high end. Once you figure out where you want everything in place, then you can go back and add in that hot glue. So I start by hot gluing in the center and I work my way out. Now, after you get everything hot glued in place, this is where you want to go back in and fill in those little gaps. So like I have some gaps between these white pumpkins that I need to fill in. And then I'm going to be using the burlap to hang it. And you can use anything you want. Maybe you have a ribbon that you want to hang your wreath on. Anything will work. I put a command strip on the back of my front door, and that's how I hold it in place. So when my door's shut, you don't see the command strip, and it just looks like my wreath's hanging from my door. And it's not very noticeable from the backside, so I don't mind at all. So this next pumpkin is not from Dollar Tree, but it's actually something that I had in my stash. I wanted to show you a way to take decor that you already have in your home and paint it so it meets your current decor. So I'm going to be using my favorite color, which is Duck Egg by Annie Sloan, and I'm going to paint all over the base of the pumpkin. Next, I'm going to be adding in this stencil from Dollar Tree. I think it's such a cool pattern, and I'm going to lay it where it folds over the edge of the pumpkin. And I'm just going to push it down into the edge, and then I'll cut off at the bottom and tuck the rest of it underneath. I'm also going to be adding this galvanized tin thankful sign to it to finish it off. And this is an easy way to recreate something already in my home. Next up, I'm going to be creating some vases. So I'm going to paint these little leaves in the same Annie Sloan Duck Egg blue, and then I'm going to wrap some ribbon around the base of the vase. Use whatever ribbon you like or whatever your decor motif is. You can really customize this for yourself. Next, I'm going to take some twine and just wrap it around the top portion of my vase. And then to finish off the top, I'll just tie a bow with the twine at the top. And then I'm gonna hot glue those cute little leaves to the top and add in some Dollar Tree stems. So I was really excited to find this blue truck from Dollar General last year. Hopefully they have it again this year. But I was really going for neutral decor, so I decided to paint the pumpkins white. So if you're not happy with all the components on something, think about how you could change it up, maybe what you could paint to fit into your decor more. So all I did was paint these pumpkins white and then add a little gold on the stems so that it looked a little bit more realistic, and put them back in place. And that was all I did for this DIY, but I was so much more happy with it after I painted them white. I picked up this cool basket from a thrift store, and I knew it would be so cute with some Dollar Tree pumpkins in it. So for filler, I'm just going to be using Dollar Tree sacks, so just stuff them in however you want. Next, I'm going to have some scrap burlap fabric that I had on hand, and I'm just going to place it along the front. You can get any kind of fabric you want. Anything will really work. You can pick it up at any fabric store. Next, I'm going to start layering in my big pumpkins first. This is going to help me with the base. Then I'll be putting in kind of like my medium-sized pumpkins, and I'm just trying to make it look as full as possible. Then I'm going to add in some leaves. You can get these anywhere, but I think this just really helps to make an arrangement look full and nice. And from Dollar Tree, I love getting these little white pumpkins. They come in a set of 3. They make great little fillers whenever you have those empty spots where you need just something. They work great. Oftentimes I'll pull off the clips, but you can leave the clips on. It works either way. And I think this is an adorable way to have like a fall farmhouse look. Use some burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree to hang it on your door. I grabbed 4 of these pumpkin stands from Dollar Tree and thought they would make a cool sign. So I'm going to pop off the pumpkins on the back of these signs, and I'm also going to be removing the ribbons. I'm going to paint the bases with 2 coats of Waverly white chalk paint. I grabbed this buffalo check scrapbook paper when it was only 25 cents at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to take my pumpkin, trace around the back of the paper, and then I'm going to cut it out so that it'll fit nicely onto my pumpkin. Next, I'm going to use hot glue to attach the scrapbook paper to my pumpkins. I'm going to wrap the stem with some twine. So I'll just start at the base of the stem on the back, and I'm just going to wrap it around, adding hot glue to the back whenever I need it. And then I'll just cut off the excess and glue it to the back. And then on another pumpkin, I'm going to wrap that in yarn. And then a final pumpkin, I'm going to wrap with a black and white buffalo check ribbon. Next, I'm going to be using stencils that I picked up from Walmart in like the Waverly section, and some orange acrylic paint. I'm just going to dab the paint into my stencil. Now you will have to do 2 coats because you are working with like a darker paper, but that's no big deal. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of orange and black ribbon that I had on hand. It was originally from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to tie some cute bows around the top of the stems. And here's a look at this adorable fall sign. I just love it. Just remember guys, DIYs do not have to be difficult. So next I'm gonna be creating a little miniature sign. I'm gonna pop out the back piece of the sign and then I'm gonna pull off that front portion. I'm gonna paint the front portion of the sign with 2 coats of Waverly white chalk paint. The frame is going black, so I'm going to paint just the top portion of this black. Now for the back piece, I'm just going to trace around some scrapbook paper and cut it out. I will hot glue the paper onto the elephant backing and then just place it back into the frame using hot glue. I grabbed this thankful sign from Dollar Tree and I wanted to use the pumpkin on here in the middle portion of my sign. So I'm going to gently remove the pumpkin from the backing so that I can cut it out. Next, I'll just try to cut out the pumpkin as best I can. And on my white piece, I'm going to distress the edges with some black. Next, I'm just going to use a little bit of Mod Podge to put down the pumpkin. And then I'm also going to add in another little pumpkin on the edge of my sign. Dollar Tree had these nice wood pieces last year, so I picked up 4 of them for this next project, and I'm going to be using them to create a frame. So I'm just going to put them together and then add some E6000 to hold them in place. Whenever you're using E6000, let it sit a good while. I like to wait overnight, and it really helps that glue to set up. I'm going to be using a poster board that I had on hand, and I'm also going to be using this pumpkin stencil that I got from Stencil Revolution. I will link it down in the description box along with any other products that I'm talking about in this video. And I'm going to be using Annie Sloan Duck Egg Blue to fill in the sign. The reason I love buying stencils like this is because you can reuse them year after year. Just make sure that when you're done using your stencil, you wash it off really good in the sink just to get any extra paint off of it. Now I'm going to cut my sign down so that it's going to fit in perfectly in the frame that I created. And I'll add a bead of hot glue all around the edge, and then I'll just place my frame on top. This is a quick way to make a sign with a frame from Dollar Tree products. Next up, we're going to be creating a fall sign. So you're going to need to pick up this Beware sign that they sell at Dollar Tree. I also grabbed these letters that spell out thankful in the Target dollar spot. Now, I wanted this to say fall, not thankful, so I ended up having to trace around the L so I could create two L's. And I did it twice because the letters were like a wood, so I wanted the L to be more substantial. So I'm going to take those two L's and glue them together. For the beware sign, I'm going to fill the holes up with some putty so that you can't see them after I paint. I'm going to paint the sign with silver lining, and I'll do 2 coats of it. I thought this blue paper was a little bit unexpected for fall, but if you're going for more like blues or greens or neutrals, it's fun to use unexpected colors for fall. So I'm just going to trace all of my letters onto this scrapbook paper and then I'll cut them out. Next, I'm going to hot glue the scrapbook paper to the front of my wood letters. Next, just place them on your sign. Make sure that they're spread out so that you have equal amount of space between the letters. For the top, I'm going to take a little bit of twine and just wrap it around. This was just decorative, so you could do this however you wanted. Sometimes I like to add duct tape to the back too for stability. And I think this sign looks so cute sitting out for fall. Next, I wanted to make a cute vase with some buffalo check ribbon that I had on hand. So I'm just going to grab a vase from Dollar Tree and buffalo check ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to hot glue it around the base. And then I'm going to move a little bit up on my vase and hot glue some more ribbon, cutting it at the same spot in the back and hot gluing it in place. Now, I love using Dollar Tree stems. Put maybe 3 or 4 in a jar. That's all you need, and it just looks so cute. And this is a simple way to have some stems for fall. So I found this sign at Dollar Tree and I thought it was a little bit different and thought it would make a really cute sign. I grabbed out a piece of scrapbooking paper that I already had. I get most of my scrapbooking paper at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to trace around the pumpkin and cut it out. Next, I'm going to draw lines on the scrapbook paper where the slats are at in this sign. And then I'm going to cut out each of my strips that are going to go back on the sign. Next, I'm going to hot glue those strips back onto the sign. For the top, I wanted a blue stem, so I'm just going to trace around the existing stem and kind of fake the bottom like it looks on the sign, and then I will hot glue that in place. To distress it, especially when you're adding papers together, make sure you use a little bit of white or a color just to kind of make it look more natural. With my thankful galvanized tin sign, I'm going to paint that in an acrylic blue color. I'm also going to paint these little leaves white and use those in my sign as well. To finish it off, I'm just going to tie some twine in a bow at the top. And that's all there is to this cute little thankful sign. I grabbed this Happy Harvest sign from Dollar Tree and it's really cute, but I wanted to make one quick change to it. I really do not like the ribbon on it, so I pulled that ribbon off, and then I have this adorable spiderweb ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to tie that in a bow, and I'm going to show you how much cuter this bow is when I hot glue it on. Doesn't that make that sign look so much better? I love it. Next up, I'm going to show you a quick way to combine some Dollar Tree prints to make a cute sign. So I picked up this ribbon from Hobby Lobby when it was half off, and then I love these little farmhouse prints from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut off 2 strips of ribbon that are the same length. Then I'm going to add some hot glue to the back of the canvases, stretch my ribbon, and place it onto the canvas. And I'll repeat that on the other side, making sure that my ribbon is about the same length on both sides, so that when it hangs, it's nice and even. And then just cut off the excess ribbon. To hang this, I'm going to take that same ribbon and I'm going to create a loop at the top. And this is an easy $2 sign that you made a lot more substantial by combining the two together. Next, I'm going to show you an easy way to convert a placemat. So get an 11 by 14 frame from Dollar Tree, take all the contents out, and then you're just going to use some flat black spray paint. Flat looks a lot more high end than if you go with a satin. And just spray all areas of the sign, do 2 coats if you can. I've grabbed this Blessed and Thankful placemat. I'm going to be using the glass that I had in the picture frame to help me with cutting it out. So I'm just going to use a pen and trace around the glass, and this will give me the perfect measurement for my frame. And then I'll put the placemat into my frame, add the backing, and that's all you need to do for a $2 sign. I hope you enjoyed seeing these fall DIYs. I hope you're inspired to go DIY. Make sure that you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss out on any of our DIYs. And I will link our last video here for you, and I'll talk to you guys in our next one. Bye.